let's keep going with this community college. We get a lot of questions from students who are interested in applying to community colleges in the US, especially. And this may be wrong, but at least from the responses and the questions that we get, most of these students who are trying to come into community colleges are older students. They are, on the older side, in their 30s, in their, experience, but they didn't get the chance to do their bachelor's, and they think that they can come in and get an associate's degree through a community college. Most of them, as we have heard and know, have not been successful at the visa process. So let's clarify this whole world of community colleges, how it works, is it possible, how to prepare, and all of that. So if you're watching and you're interested in that, I think this is the chance for you to share the video so that other people who are also interested in community colleges and want answers to that will be able to understand. But let's start from you, Alfred. What's the thing with community colleges? What's the plan for community colleges? What's the purpose of community colleges in America, and how should students be thinking about applying for community colleges, especially international students?
Yeah, so Paul, I think somebody asked me a question that does the embassy approve visas for community colleges? And I said yes. But most people are unsuccessful because they don't really understand, or they are not able to prepare in a way that will make their visas approved. And I think this is why I'm happy that you bring this out. First of all, when you look at the community college structure, let's ask ourselves, what is the purpose of community colleges, even in the US? Why US have a lot of universities, but what is the role of community college? Why community colleges? And if you look at it very well, community colleges serve specific purposes in individual cities or communities, right? Just as you said, in the US here, for example, there are a lot of people who are either working or who couldn't have the opportunity to go to further studies after high school. So the community colleges, exactly. The community colleges are designed to help people like that. There are some people who are already working, right? They are professionals. Example, maybe somebody is a teacher and he feel like he want to switch and go through nursing. Community colleges comes in handy, right? There are some people change of career. There are some people who are already working as nurses or as a certified nurses, and they want further studies, because they don't have all the prerequisites that will get them into a bachelor's program at the university level. That is what community colleges does, right? People who are let's say skilled workers, right? Maybe somebody who is a technician, right? He's a skilled worker and he needs further studies. He needs advanced academic and practical learning platform, online or in the evenings or during weekends whilst he go to work. Community colleges come in. People who have long gap in school, maybe after high school because of sickness or family issue or whatever you may call it, or whatever reason, we're not able to go to universities, right? So they want to continue their studies from the associate degree to before they can transfer to maybe a university. So this is what the community colleges are there for. So as an international student, how do you meet these criteria? Right? And if you go to the embassy and you are not able to demonstrate that you meet the need and the purpose for which community colleges were established for, your visas will be denied, irrespective of how genuinely you are. Right? So because the consulates know what the community colleges are for.
Are meant for, yeah.
Yes. So we have students who already have bachelors. Right? Some students already have bachelors, but because for some reason, most cases, some of them didn't do well in their bachelors, or some of them want to switch careers, as we've seen around, they want to come into community colleges, or some of them are looking for relatively cheaper institutions, which are okay. Yes, which is okay, which is fine. However, if you already have my master's, then you don't need another associate degree. It's like you are downgrading.
Yes.
Right? Wow. So you have bachelor's already, and you go to the interview and you're like, I'm applying for a community college. I'm coming to study associate degree. When you already have a bachelor's. the consular will not grant you the visa. There are some people who are like, oh, I'm coming to community college to study English language. It's like, I'm coming to have a 9-month or 1-year English language studies. Yes, the rule says that you qualify for the visa, but you do not need the visa, right? Like you qualify, that doesn't mean you need it, because there's so many ways that you can study English without traveling to the United States.
Exactly. Yeah.
How can a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, or somebody even from Cameroon or Cote d'Ivoire say, I'm coming to the US to study English? You have other better alternatives that will be relatively cheaper, right? So consulars sometimes believe that people use community colleges as an excuse to get into the US system, because it is easy to get a community college because their requirements for application are not rigorous like a university, and their tuition and living expenses are also not that much. So it is at the comfort of your home. It is easy to apply to a community college. But
Most
the question is,
actually don't even deny anybody.
yes,
As long as you submit it.
You submit it, you are admitted, right? But the concept is, do you meet the purpose for which the community colleges are
That's
meant
the big
for?
question.
Yeah. So in that case, now let's come to people we have coached and we know that have had their visas approved. And
that's right.
And for example, Paul, do you remember there's this Ghanaian student who was coming to
The printing guy?
Yes, a printing guy. He was coming to do an associate degree. This is a guy who have graduated from high school for over 15 years. And he has been in the printing industry in Kumasi. He prints posters, he prints Lacoste, he prints books and pamphlets and all those obituary stuffs and all that. And he believed that at this point of his life, he needed training, he needed education. And if you know the printing industry, they deal with technology a lot. Now they are modern.
Fast. The technology is very fast.
Yes.
Like the software that they use to design the photocopy machines, they're moving from the analog one, the ones they put ink into, to the digital ones that is, really sophisticated. They are getting into 3D printing.
Yes. Yeah. And that's where the guy came in, that he's been doing printing. And this is a guy who has been successful as he's around
as a business owner. Yes.
As a business owner, with the support from her sister, right? Yeah. And he believed that he need training, especially with 3D. And he believed that he's lacking in his business. So he chose a community college for 2 reasons. One, he needed a program that is not academic, a program that is not rigorous, a program that will prepare him directly, that will give him practical exposure to 3D. Exactly.
Medieval printing style.
Exactly. Yes, he doesn't have to write research papers, 10 research papers, do 10-page 100 pages reading a week. He just need a school that will introduce him, put him in a lab or in a certain kind of project that will introduce him to design, that will introduce him to using 3D for printing and all that. And community college do that, right?
It's the best, yeah.
And second, he needed a school that is just shorter. He was even looking for a 1.5 years program, because to him, he's a business owner. He cannot come and do bachelor's for 4 years and leave his business in Kumasi that long, right? So these were the 2 reasons why this guy pursued a community college. And for him, the gap between his high school to his current age is about 15 years. How can he survive in Georgia State? How can he survive in University of Ottawa or Ohio University? He can't. He needs a community college that is not rigorous, that is based on student need and very practical base. So when he made all these facts to the consular had no reason to approve his visa, because he meets the purpose for which the community colleges were meant for.
Purpose. Yeah. Yeah.
So don't just sit down to say you are looking for a school that is, you can just send in your CV on your transcript and they admit you.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Think about the need and what the community colleges are meant for. And that will really help you in how you prepare for the visa. In most cases, sometimes you need somebody to help you prepare. I remember this guy, if he had not come for the coaching, he wouldn't have been able to bring these important stories together to get the consulars convinced. So if you think you need help, you just have to get in touch, connect with us, and we can listen to you and see how best we can help you prepare for your visa interview.
That's a very, 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 very important clarification to make, because there are so many unsuccessful community college applicants. And I think in this particular submission, we have also clarified that you don't qualify if you already have a bachelor's and you're trying to downgrade. You don't qualify if you already have a master's and you're trying to downgrade. Yet at the same time, we are also saying that all the rules and the policies regarding the F1 still apply, right? Right now, we've just talked about the main reason and the purpose, but there's also the funding requirement. There's also the the proof of ties, and all of the other declaration of your intention as a non-immigrant. There's also that side of the policy that applies. And so rightly, if you need somebody to help you think through your application, be quick to reach out, and let's see how best we can help you. But don't just jump with your admission letter and go to the embassy, because the community college thing is very tricky and you need somebody to guide you, most likely.